Hey everyone, it's Sunday, so you know what that means. I'm here, I'm live, so is Hank, and I can't get, there we go. Ah, I couldn't get the camera straight. There we go. So we're here, we're live. I kind of had I was wondering if YouTube was going to allow me to actually put that thumbnail up, and they did. Facebook did not. I tried to share the link in my group when I logged in as, my channel name group. So I logged in under my channel page and I tried to go update the group with my link. And of course, it shows you the thumbnail there. And immediately I got a notification that says Diamond Paint with Diamond Dave and Hank just shared this, and it violates our community guidelines on sexual material. And it actually recommended to me to kick myself out of my own group for posting it. So, Facebook didn't like it. YouTube doesn't seem to care very much because it is artwork. It's art. It's not a photograph. It's art. I guess Facebook doesn't have a sense of humor or a sense of artistic expression. So, happy Sunday, y'all. It's my final Sunday of being in the first half of my century of life. So, I'm here. Hank is here. Yeah. Hi, Hank. Yep. How are you, buddy? So tonight we're kitting up this fine project right here. I bought this 2019 on Wish. I think it was actually the first diamond painting I ever bought on Wish way back then, maybe even 2018. It may have been late 2018 when I bought it. Yeah, I hope so, Odd. Hey, Dreamer. Yeah, Dreamer, the thumbnail for this video, like when you saw the thing that said I was going live and it shows you the thumbnail. Yeah, well, it's that picture of what this diamond painting is with some selective blurring to cover up female chest parts. Like I said, YouTube didn't like, or Facebook didn't like it. YouTube doesn't seem to care so far. Yeah, Hank eventually moves. Hi. Yes, I had to check on him earlier. He was laying here on the floor like this and wasn't moving. I thought he was dead. Had to make sure he was still alive. Hi, Hank. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Yep, that was enough of that, huh? You had enough. Okay. All right. Well, guess what? You're kind of in the way, buddy. Yep. You're kind of in the way. And I'm kind of going to have to get you to move out of the way so I can start doing my kitting up, okay? Yeah? Okay. He doesn't care. All right. Come on. Let's get up. Come on. Yeah, you looking at me like that. Let's get up. Come on. Oh, I know. Oh, I know you don't like it. Oh. Okay. Okay. There you go. So I've got a fresh set of Harbor Freights here that have, I guess they got dekitted from another kit somewhere along the way because you can tell they've been used. The little tabs are flapped open on some of them. Oh no. I'm sorry, Dreamer. So there's the painting. You can kind of, sort of, somewhat see it. So it has been an interesting week, to say the least. Very busy week at work. I did win a $50 Visa gift card this week because, as it turns out, I was number one in sales amongst all techs in our region last month. So that won me a $50 Visa gift card, plus the commission from all the sales and the service that I did after I sold it. So I mean, I've been doing pretty good with paychecks. Won that $50 gift card, and the boss keeps calling me the hero, and I don't understand why. Wow, 18. That's old for a dog. Wow, lived a long life though. Oh yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. So, as a reward, I got to work yesterday. Now they changed up our routes on August 1st, and I got a lot of new customers and new stops that I didn't have before. Because normally you'll see the same customers month in and month out. Every month you go to the same customers. Like they want you to develop that relationship with your customers, so that I always see the same ones. Well, they switched it up on us now because we have all these new techs and everybody is out there now. We got a full house, and some guys were having like 250 stops where other guys were only having like 120. So they tried to even it out as much as they could and give an equal amount to everyone, so that everybody has the same chance to make as much money as each other. Well, I ended up getting one housing development. It's a whole brand new development. That's probably not 2-3 years old. 60 houses. And the guy that was doing it previously used to go do them on Saturdays. And it's probably the easiest way to fit that into the schedule. When you got 60 houses to do in one neighborhood, it's probably easier just to go do it on a Saturday. So the boss kind of just said, hey, you know what? I'm just going to stick 20 on your schedule. He called me Friday. So I'm just going to stick 20 on your schedule for tomorrow. Go out there and get them done. He said, I don't want you to work late if you don't have to. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I got out there and I got 20 done in like, I don't know, 3 hours. And it probably would have been earlier than that, but I actually left there after doing a couple of houses, went down the street, got some breakfast at the gas station, and had to use the restroom. And I drove back and kept going. So, I mean, it probably would have been less than 3 hours to get all the first 20 done. And I was like, well, you know what? I've done 20. It's only been 3 hours. I'm gonna do 30. I'm like, all right. Well, it's laid out. The housing development is laid out in a big oval, like this, and there's a road that goes all the way around, and it comes into like an entrance here, and then the road splits and it goes around like that, and it just comes all the way around. Well, I was working around the outside edge of that circle. There's houses on the outside of the street, and then there's houses on the inside. And 30 kind of put me like 3/4 of the way down the outside of the street all the way around. So I said, well, you know what? There's only 10 more houses to do, and I've got the whole outside ring done. I'm going to do those. So I'm cruising around. I get to 30. I finish it. I'm like, all right, keep going. I've only got 10 more. This will be quick and simple. And I got to number 34, and these were all only outside only spray. So, I mean, I just grab a backpack sprayer, just go around and spray up the wall a little bit and out on the ground, just back and forth on fan spray, and do that all the way around the house. And I got all the way around the house and was on my way back around the backside. Hank, you're in the way, buddy. Got almost around to where the gate was to come back out the backyard and go back to the truck. And just as I rounded that corner, I felt something just burning, like something, my arm was on fire. And next thing you know, it's on my back too. And I look down and there's a wasp on my arm, stinging me through my shirt. Like, I have long sleeve shirt on. He's stinging me through my shirt. And he won't let go. And I'm sitting there swatting and whacking at him like this. He got me really good right there. Right there. You can kind of still see it. But at the same time he's doing that, another one's stinging me on the back of my shoulder on the other side. So I'm sitting there like, I'm shedding my hat, my glasses, I'm swatting, I'm swinging. I've got this 4-gallon backpack sprayer on my back. It comes flying off. I'm cussing, I'm swinging, swatting. There's other ones flying at me, trying to get to me, and I'm swatting at them. I guess I must have disturbed a wasp nest. And I don't even know where it was, because I was specifically looking for wasp nests, because when I get done with spray, if there are any, I go around with some wasp spray in a can, and I spray the wasp nest, and I take this long broom on a handle, and I knock the nest down. And I didn't see any nests around that house. Like, I looked, I didn't see any. And it's a 2-story house, so the eaves of this house are way up high. So even if I walked underneath, you know, I wouldn't be disturbing the nest up there. All I can think of is they must have been nesting up under the edge of the siding, right down at the bottom by the slab, because that's the only part I was spraying was down that side on the bottom part around the house. So I must have disturbed the nest there and didn't even know it. And they just waited until my back was turned and they just nailed me. So the one on my back got me 3 times, right in one little spot. And the one up here on my arm just stayed latched on there for a while, just constantly stinging in one spot. So needless to say, I was in some pain last night for a while. No, it wasn't yellow jackets. These were your typical black wasps that are up on, you know, that hang underneath the eaves and the corners of porches and stuff. They're just black with like red legs. All I know is they lit me on fire. So I decided that was the last house I was going to do for the day, and I went home. And on top of that, my AC has been out. You probably can hear it over here. I've got a portable unit that the apartment's brought me. My blower motor and my air handling unit went out on Friday, and the heat index yesterday was 112 degrees. So needless to say, even with a window open, it was hot in this house. It was like 90 degrees when I got home yesterday afternoon. And I had been trying since Friday to get a hold of the maintenance man, who I actually told him about the problem on Friday afternoon when I got home from work and my air wasn't on and my house was warm. He was outside, and I said, "Hey, Corey, my air is off." Well, at the same time, I was already on the phone with the emergency after hours call people. And I told him, I said, "Hey, there's Corey walking across the spot. I'm going to go talk to him right now." And he said, "All right, well, if you need us, call us back." So I go over and talk to Corey, and I told him what's wrong. He says, "Hey, I need you to call in and have them put a work order in, and they'll send me a message, and I'll come over and take a look at it." I was like, "All right." So I called right back to the emergency after hours number, got a hold of somebody, and said, "Okay, we're going to send him a message. He should be over there in just a little bit." No Corey. So I called back a couple hours later. They did the same thing. No Corey. So I went to work on Saturday, worked until about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I got home, called again, and they were like, "Okay, we'll send a message out," and they never did. And I called again at like 5, and they sent another message out, and this time he got it, and he came over last night, and he took a look at it, and he was like, "Yeah, your blower motor's shot, but my boss has a portable unit we can put in for you for the weekend." I was like, "Okay." So I've got a portable unit going, so it's not as uncomfortable in here. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. It's just been hectic. This coming week, I'm only got 3 days I got to work. I'm off Thursday and Friday because on Thursday I celebrate being a half a damn century old. A half a century, y'all. So, to celebrate half a century, I'm going on a hike. I'm getting out of the house. I'm getting away to the woods by myself. I've got a 30-mile trip scheduled in the Smoky Mountains. Nice little loop trail. Well, it's a loop trail after I get on one trail, get on another, and come back to where I started. But it's a 30-mile loop that I'm going to do up in the Smokies. The midpoint of the hike is up on the highest point east of the Mississippi River, which is Clingman's Dome. So far, the weather appears to be spectacular. Looks like about a 10-mile-an-hour breeze. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s up there, and sunny, which is going to be perfect for all the nice views from that high point. There's actually a thing you can walk up, like a tower, and it's like a circular ramp that walks to the top of it, and you can see 360 degrees from up there. And yeah, so I'm getting away on the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, the 20th being next Sunday. I've only got a short hike out on Sunday morning to come back, but then I've got a 5-hour drive home. So I don't know yet if I will be going live next Sunday night or not. Just depends on if I'm home in time or not. Maybe I will give you a little report from the trail, how it was. But yeah, so that's the point right now. I may not be live next week. I may still be on my way home from the Smokies, but I don't know yet. Like I said, it's kind of a shortish hike. I think I've only got about 5 miles the last day. And I can do that in like 3-4 hours, which I normally get up kind of early when I'm on the trail anyway, like right after daylight. So I might be able to be out of there by 10 or 11 and make it home by 5 or 6 and still be able to go live. I don't know yet. Always dreamer. I don't have to worry about taking water. Thank you. Yep. Half a century. It's really making me think about it. In fact, it was just before I went live, I was thinking about it. Like, I think about the 50 years so far that I've been here. And looking back on everything that I've seen in 50 years. And everything that the world has seen in last 50 years. And I'm thinking about these people that live to 100 and thinking, man, I'm only halfway there. I'm only halfway to what those people have seen. Can I imagine the next 50 years? Wow. I'm hoping I make it that far. I really do. I'm trying. I'm trying. But that's nuts to think that, man, 50 years, it just seems like such a long time. But to have lived it, it really doesn't seem like that long of a time. Time flew by so far that, 20 years ago right now just seems like it was yesterday. But yeah, 50 years is a pretty big, I guess that's a pretty big deal. And to be honest with you, when I was a teenager, young adult, doing the crazy shit that I did, I don't think I ever would have imagined that I would live to see 50. I did some really stupid stuff, y'all. Climbing water towers. Standing on little tongues of land that wide over a 2,000-foot cliff drop. Yeah, stuff like that. One little mistake and I wouldn't be here right now. Things that I think back and look back on and go, damn, I was stupid. So yeah, my original plan was I was supposed to be on the Appalachian Trail. I would probably be somewhere up in New England, somewhere probably around, I don't know, probably New Hampshire, somewhere around that, probably getting ready to go through the Whites, or possibly even almost into Maine by now, getting ready to summit Katahdin and finish the trail. I was supposed to spend my 50th anniversary, my 50th birthday on the Appalachian Trail on a through hike, and that didn't pan out. So I figured for my 50th, I want to be on a trail somewhere, and doing a small section of the Appalachian Trail in the Smokies is perfectly okay with me. Excuse me. Hey. How are ya? Hey. How are ya? Hi. Yeah, I know. You're getting that crazy feeling again, huh? Yeah, you are. You're getting that crazy feeling again. Yeah, I do, Dreamer. I do. But yeah, see, that was my thing. I was planning on up until, and I'm not gonna blame Amber for it, but up until she left and when she moved out and took her income with her, the savings that I had put aside for that trip, that Appalachian Trail hike, um, had to be spent in order to be able to keep myself a roof over my head and electric turned on and everything. So I kind of went through the savings that I had saved up for that trip. So slowly but surely, I am going to try to save up the 10,000 that I'm going to need, and I'm going to make that trip. That's one of my bucket list items that I will be doing. I'm going to hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine one day, all in one shot, just to be able to say I did. All right. Let's oh, this is crazy. All right. No, Aria, this is not a toy for you to play with. She's seen me unfurl the sticker sheets and decided, oh, it's hanging off the desk. I'm going to go play with it. Dreamer, yes, it does, but not in the same form. The actual national forest sanctioned, I guess I can't remember who it is, but the actual Appalachian National Scenic Trail, that's what's recognized as the entire Appalachian Trail, starts at Springer Mountain in Georgia and goes all the way to Maine, to Mount Katahdin in Baxter State Park in Maine. It does continue on as a different trail name, and it does go into Canada, and it ends almost up at the coast, somewhere in New Brunswick or up that way. Um, and in the south, it actually extends. It does in the south. You can actually backtrack from Springer about a mile or so north and go west southwest on the Benton Mackay Trail. Now, Benton Mackay is the guy that actually forged the Appalachian Trail. The Benton Mackay Trail cuts back down through Tennessee and then down into Georgia, and then it links up with what's called the Pinhoti Trail, which goes from Georgia back into northern Alabama, and then it cuts down through Talladega, Alabama, west of Birmingham or east of Birmingham, and goes down to Wetumpka, Alabama, which is where Flag Mountain is. Flag Mountain is the most southern point higher than 1,000 feet. That's That's in the Appalachians. So Flag Mountain is where the beginning of the Pinhoti goes. So if I really wanted to do a trail, I could start there at Flag Mountain at the beginning of the Pinhoti, hike all the way up to the Benton Mackay Trail in Georgia, and then hike that across the Appalachian Trail just north of Springer Mountain, go back to Springer a little bit, and go to the top there to go to the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, and then hike north all the way to Canada if I wanted to. And there are people that do it. They call it the Coastal Trail, the American Coastal Trail, because you can actually start at Key West in Florida, and you can hike up through Florida on what's called the Florida Trail, which then connects with the Pinhoti in Alabama. Actually, you have the Florida Trail, which connects with the Alabama Road Trail, which it's just a bunch of road walking from southern Alabama all the way up to the Pinhoti and Flag Mountain, and then you take all the way up to Canada. So you can actually do that. There is an unbroken system you can take to do the entire east coast of the U.S. I always take a tent, Dreamer. I tell you what, Dreamer. My other channel is Dave's Backpacking Adventures. I have another channel. I haven't updated it in quite a while. I've got several trips that I still need to edit together in videos that I did last year while I was taking my break from this channel and taking my break from YouTube in this way. I actually started that other channel, and I uploaded a couple of my Talladega National Forest hikes. They're about an hour-long video each, but they were two of them in the Talladega National Forest on the Pinhoti Trail, as a matter of fact, which is going to be recognized soon as a National Scenic Trail as well. So it's going to get its own designation, and it's going to become really popular the way the Appalachian Trail is. So that's really cool. It's Alabama's little hidden treasure, they call it right now. But the Pinhoti is an awesome trail. It's a lot of ridge walking across the tops of the ridges of the mountains down here. It takes you over the highest point in Alabama. It's pretty neat. That was where I cut my teeth on backpacking, was there. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to do the Appalachian Trail. I've been out to the Smokies a few times. I've got the footage from all of that to edit together still. Yep, thank you, Odd. Yeah, but on that channel, I actually have a gear video that shows all of my gear and shows me, shows my pack and all my gear and everything I carry with me. So it comes out to about a 30-pound pack in the end when it's all said and done. I carry about 30 pounds, and that's plenty for me. And that's with about 4 days worth of food. I normally carry 4 days worth of food for a 2-day hike because you never, ever, ever know what's going to happen. So you always want to be prepared. The old Boy Scout motto. I carry a very lightweight tent. It's only about 1.5 pounds without the tent stakes. Now, the tent stakes that came with it were really super lightweight, but I went and bought some even lighter weight tent pegs. And I think the entire set of tent pegs that I take, it's like 4, 5, 6. I think there's 8 stakes that I carry. They all fit on a carabiner, and I can attach them to my pack anywhere I want to. And I think the entire thing is only like 8 ounces for like all 8 stakes. So they don't add a lot of weight. But yeah, it's only like 1.5 pound tent. But it's a 1-person tent. I've got a sleeping pad that I can inflate and deflate out on the trail, so I can sleep comfortably. I've got 2 sleeping bags. I've got one that's for like wintertime, and it goes down to like 17 degrees. It'll keep you alive at 17 degrees. It won't be comfortable, but it'll keep you alive at 17 degrees. My other sleeping bag will keep you comfortable at about 40 degrees and keep you alive to like 20 degrees, 20 or 25. I can't remember which. And neither one of those weighs very much. I mean, the 17 degree one weighs a little bit more, but both of them are down sleeping bags, so they're super lightweight. I got a super lightweight down puffy jacket that I can just ball up into a ball that big, and it keeps you so warm. Down is the best. Down is the best insulator ever. I always carry water. I've got normally carry 2 1-liter smart water bottles, and I have a water filter that screws on the top of them. That's about the size of a vape bottle, and you can scoop the water right out of the stream into the bottle. Screw that thing right on the top of the smart water bottle, and then you can just squeeze the smart water bottle and you get filtered water through it. It's got like a drinking spout on the top. I carry that one as my backup because my main water filter is this. It's just a Be-Free. It's a rubber silicone water bladder. It's 1 liter. And there's your water filter. So you just open it up and it's got a little top on it. So what I do is I fill this up with 1 liter of water. I put the lid back on. And then I add whatever flavoring or electrolyte packets I want to my water. And I filter it through this by just squeezing the bladder and squirt it right into those 1 liter smart water bottles. And now and then I can fill this up a third time and have a 3rd liter of water that I can carry at any given time. But along most trails, there's so many water sources that you don't have to carry that much water. I can fill up a liter. By the time I finish that, I'm at another water source. So yeah, I don't necessarily need to carry a lot of water. Now I'm making up my because I cannot find, for the life of me, I cannot find my Xyron sticker maker anywhere. And I know it came with us. It had to have come with us from North Dakota, because we didn't leave anything there. So it's in this apartment somewhere. I just don't know where. We've unpacked pretty much everything and I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to buy a new one sometime soon, because I don't know what happened to my Xyron. If I had that, I would just cut these out and put those through the sticker maker, and I'd actually make a photocopy of this and then put those on the containers. $38.35, $38.36. All right. So yeah, that's I love backpacking. It's a lot of fun. My original plan, now when I decided I was going to do the Appalachian Trail, my original plan was to go do the Appalachian Trail, take a couple of years, maybe a year or two, come back, regroup, whatever, and then go do the Pacific Crest Trail, which runs from the Mexican border in Arizona all the way to the Canadian border in Washington. So it runs all the way up along the Pacific Crest, which is, the mountains there in California, Nevada, Oregon, or California, Oregon, and Washington. And actually, it starts at no, I take that back. It starts at the Mexican border in California and goes all the way up through like the Sierra Nevadas and the Cascades and all of that, and goes all the way to the Canadian border. I was going to do that and then come back maybe a year or two later, go do the Continental Divide Trail, which starts at the Mexican border in New Mexico, and it hikes along the Continental Divide through like Colorado and Wyoming and Montana, and it ends at the Canadian border in Montana. Takes you through Yellowstone, the whole works. I was going to do that one as well, and that was going to do the Triple Crown. I may still be able to do that, depending on my health and how it holds up over the next 20 years or so. I might be able to get all three done again. I do know that the oldest person to hike the Appalachian Trail just did it 2 years ago, and he finished it at 82 years old. He is now the caretaker, and always has been the caretaker, at Flag Mountain, where the beginning of the Pinhoti is here in Alabama. His name is Nimble Nomad. That's his trail name anyway. But he will, if you come up to Flag Mountain to hike on the Pinhoti and he's there, he'll invite you in. He'll give you tea, whatever. He'll sit and tell you stories, and he's like one of the nicest dudes in the world. Everybody wants to meet old Nimble Nomad. I'm hoping to get over there one of these days and go meet him. But he just finished the Appalachian Trail in 2020 or 2021. He was 82 when he did it. And he has done pretty much every trail in the United States over his lifetime, even some trails that aren't actually sanctioned or recognized trails. He's blazed his own. He started on the East Coast and hiked to the West Coast and hiked back a different route. He has hiked just about every marked trail you can imagine in the United States. And he's 82 and still going strong. I hope to be like him. Long white beard and everything. He's got a long white beard that comes down to about sternum level and long white hair. He's exactly what you would picture the old man of the mountain to be. Oh, yeah, and Dreamer, if you watch it, anybody else who watches that other channel, never mind the camera work. The camera work is horrible. You know how hard it is to film steady video when you're hiking? Especially when you don't have, expensive gimbals and stuff. I guess my thumbnail must have chased an awful lot of people away because there's like 5 of y'all watching me right now. Oh, and in other news, I finally hit the threshold on YouTube to be able to offer memberships. And also, if you look below this video, I guess it's just above the subscription box, I'm not sure, you'll be able to see all of my merch products there across the screen. You'll be able to scroll back and forth and see my merch products from there, and just click there and it takes you right to where you can order them. How's that? Pretty cool, huh? And I also have unlocked the ability to accept super chats and super comments. So that's really cool. Yes, I am doing this, Dreamer. I'm doing this this painting for the Rude Crude Nude. It's put on by Kiss My Crafts and some other folks. I think Christopher is one of the folks. Oh, thank you, Dreamer. My first super chat after being remonetized there. I still got a few more watch hours to go, like 900 and some watch hours to get before I can go fully monetize with ads and stuff. But they kind of changed it up a little bit. Now you only need 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours to hit the first stage of monetization, which is allowing super chats, that kind of thing. But you still need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subs to get full monetization with ads, where you can make money off AdSense and all that. So I'm still reaching that goal. Still working. I got about 900 more watch hours to get. But yeah, this is the Rude Crude Nude event. The link is in the description box below for the Facebook group. Pretty cool event. They are doing a giveaway or a prize drawing for anybody that I don't know if they changed the requirements. They were talking about it because there was some that weren't able to get, like, is what the rules originally were. If you start and complete a licensed diamond painting that matches the criteria for the event, it doesn't have to be nudity. It doesn't have to be sexual. It can just be a crude saying or something like that. So if you start and complete one that is licensed, then you're entered into the drawing for the giveaway at the end. I can't remember what all is included with that, but yeah, this isn't licensed, obviously. But there was some talk of changing that license requirement because there's just not a whole lot of licensed artwork that would meet that criteria. But I think they did end up finding a lot of stuff that they said were eligible from Diamond Art Club, so they may not have changed the requirement. I haven't really been keeping up that well with it, but I'm just taking part in it just for the fun of doing it. Plus, I've had this painting sitting there forever and haven't had an excuse to work on it yet. Like I said, I bought this one in I think it was probably 2018 before I even started my YouTube channel. I bought this off Wish. It was like the first diamond painting I ever bought off Wish. I only bought one or two off of there. I've got a Naughty Alice diamond painting that I bought off Wish, and I've got this one. The Naughty Alice isn't really that naughty. She's just very, I'm going to say sexy Alice, because there's no nudity or anything. She's just wearing a mini skirt and thigh-high fishnets. A little more modern than burlesque like. Let me find it. I've got it. Let me grab it. It's here somewhere.
No, Aria, you don't need to go in your closet.
Here it is. Let's see if it comes out on camera. There. Okay, she's not in fishnets, but yeah, that was, I thought it was kind of cute. Again, I don't know where I'm going to hang something like that if I ever do. It's just, I thought it'd be fun to work on, so I got it. It's like half of the diamond paintings I got. It's like, I don't know anybody that would want one as a gift. And some of these, I just don't know who would. But most of them, I'd have no clue where I would display them when I get them done. Like this one, where the hell am I going to display this one when I get it done? I mean, I could hang it in the bedroom. And I've often thought about doing that with my bedroom. Doing my bedroom in like all kinds of like nude artwork. Then that might be creepy to somebody new that I meet and I bring them home for the first time and they see my bedroom as like a den of like sexual imagery. So I don't know. And there we go. All of my stickers are done. Now I just need to what? Do I need to put my glasses on just to see that? Oh boy. You can barely read that on there, especially to the naked eye. Yay. I guess I do need to put my glasses on. Normally don't need to put my glasses on unless I'm actually diamond painting so that I can see symbols. But I forgot how much I 939s, more 939s, more 939. There it is. 3 little packets of 154. Yahoo. One five fives. And these little packets are from everywhere. Like, look, this one here's got big white letters. This one here's got small black letters in between things. This one's got small white letters on the baggy part. This one's got big black letters. It's like the drills are from like all over the place. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. Here's 159. There's 157. So it's 155. The color is 155. I would expect it to be a light blue, but I'd be wrong. Five 550. Three 353. 772. 155. No, it's actually like a light purple or lavender. I forgot how much I miss doing these Chinese diamond paintings with these little drill packets, chains. Oh, and static. Yay. I've missed static. Missed it so much. And that one did not cut. Ah. There we go. There. Oh. Can it just be Wednesday now? I'm ready to get out. Oh, wonderful. Ah. And I don't have any dryer sheets. I trust y'all saw my video on the element tray that changes colors. Oh, the static is real, y'all. Oh, that's horrible. It's even stuck to the... Yeah, that's not good. Oh, I love... They're even sticking to the spout. That's... Oh, great. And there's still some stuck in there. I have to remember that when I pull out the drills to start working, I need to remember to tap it, because if not, they will stick to the lid. Maybe if I shake it up really good, maybe, there we go. Just got to remember to do that before I open it. Okay. You know, everybody uses all of those little methods to get rid of static, but you know, they eventually will lose that static in there. All on their own. Hank, really? Hey. Really? You're just going to sit there and chill out, huh? This is a different kind of plastic. You know how most of them are made of that, like, crinkly, like that kind of plastic? Some of these baggies are a different kind of plastic. They're almost like the PVC sleeves used for like baseball cards and stuff. They're not that thin, crinkly plastic. They're almost like a thinner version of the Harbor Freight material. Oh, he is. Hank is. He's not fully on the floor is lava train anymore, but he still would much rather be up on the desk front and center in front of me all the time. It drives me nuts. Oh, I love that. And still a few left. Few little holdouts. Just don't want to go. There. Got him. Excuse me, Hank. Don't around me. You're in the way. Hey, J-Rob. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hank. He's not only adamant on staying, he's adamant on taking up the entire desk. Yay, more static. That's what I always wanted. Dying to know how the situation worked out. Oh, the car situation. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the car. It's parked out front here again. Turns out I sent my son the picture of it being hauled off. And I don't know how much of it that went through there. But he found this on the side of the truck. I didn't realize it was in the picture on the toolbox. He found the picture or saw the number of the towing company that towed it. So he called the towing company because he asked me what I would have to do to get the car back because he was going to help me out with it. And I said, well, chances are I'm going to have to pay off the whole loan to get it back because that's the way they normally do things. And he called the record company that came out and got it and talked to them. And the guy was like, oh, no, Car-Mart will work with him. Car-Mart will work with you. And, they'll just, help you out and get your loan caught up and everything. He was like, so Daddy, we need to call them. I'm like, well, I got to work, man. I can't. The place closes before I get off work, and before I get home from work. And I don't ever have a chance to go by there. And they won't deal with you by phone. They make you come in and talk to them. I said, I just don't have time. So he called them while I was at work and did a 3-way conference call with me. And she said, you know what, for $250, we can get your car back to you, and then you'll have you pay $250 a month from here on out, and you keep it. I'm like, okay. I said, if y'all would have just left me the car here, we wouldn't be going through all of this. I needed 5 days, and y'all want to come get it 5 days before I'm able to come in. And I said, I even came in and told you that I would have it done on the 30th, or that I would come in and pay for it on the 30th, and not even an hour later, y'all were repoing it. So I said, that didn't help out none. She said, yeah, I sent this. She said, I didn't know the order had gone out to have it repoed already when you came in. She said, right, I told you. And I was like, you are the manager of this facility, correct? You should know that the order has already gone out for repo. And I think she knew. She was just jerking my chain. So no, the car is back. Still don't have valid tags on it. I'm doing that before I leave on Wednesday. I'm kind of scheduling myself short on Wednesday so that I'll have time to run around town a little bit and do some things I need to do before I head to the mountains. So one of those things is I've got to go get tags on the car before I go. I drove it to Tennessee last week without any tags. I drove it with the drive-out tag that came with the car way back when I bought it. I still have the drive-out tag. And Alabama, that's all you need is just the dealership's logo tag on the back until you get your regular full-time tags. But other states don't recognize that. So the fact that I'm going into Tennessee and then North Carolina, I need to get regular tags put on. This coming paycheck is a very large paycheck, so I'll have enough money to pay my rent, pay my bills, and go get insurance and get tags on the car. And then I get to escape from life for 4 days. And I'm happy. Get away. It's me and the trees and the bears and maybe a few other hikers from here and there. So no, it's really funny. I got the car back. Now, my Pathfinder is a V8, and my work truck that I drive every day and have been driving almost every day since February or March, something like that, is a 4-cylinder Toyota Tacoma. And it has no guts whatsoever. Like, you, to pull away from a stoplight, you kind of have to almost mash it all the way to the floor. You have to mash it like almost all the way to the floor, and then it lurches and then stops, and then all of a sudden kicks in and goes. So it's like it has no power at all. And of course, this V8 Pathfinder, just slightest little touch of the gas pedal on it, and you're like, head's thrown back in the seat. It's really tough getting used to driving it again. Thank you, J. Rob. Yes, they are continuing to lower quite substantially. I've had 3 or 4 really, really good checks in a row, and I've managed to get everything current that can be current. And as a matter of fact, I even am no longer using my work phone's Wi-Fi hotspot for my home internet. I now have Xfinity 1200 gigabit internet and my mobile phone through Xfinity as well. So yeah, things are looking up immensely. This check here, I'll be able to pay all the bills, go on my hiking trip, and still have plenty of money left over to do some things with. So I might, when I get back from my trip, go onto my merch page. I can buy some of that merch at a reduced cost so that I can show it off. I might buy some and show some of it off in a video to y'all, or next time I go live even. I don't know yet. But I'm really looking forward to getting some of my merch. Hello, Ashley. 40 minutes to home. Yay. Everybody else is like, 40 minutes to home. Yay. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go home yet. The only reason I ever want to come home is these 2 little munchkins. Meow, meow. I hear you. I hear you, Hank. What? 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 What's up with you? Hank? You lazy butt. He's laying there and his tail is swinging like a pendulum on the backside of the desk. You just can't see it on the camera. Here, straighten your fur. You look all a mess. you're going to be on camera, you need to straighten your fur out so you don't look like such a homeless weirdo. See, I would enjoy that, Ashley. I would enjoy that drive every day, every now and then. But see, I like when I drive up to Tennessee and drive home. That drive is like some of the most fun for me. I love driving. So when I come up for the next year's retreat, J Rob, I'll probably be driving up that way too. I love driving. Driving's my favorite thing. If I didn't have these two, I probably would put all my shit in storage, and the stuff that I can take with me, I would, and I would probably go back to being an over-the-road truck driver. That lifestyle was amazing. Honestly, it was. I loved it. I would get back on the road in a heartbeat and drive. It's kratom time again, y'all. I've been calling it now my green go-go powder. Oh, I didn't realize that you were doing it with a doodle. Okay, I can understand your frustration. Doodles are really cool dogs, and they look really cool. But I understand why you get frustrated with them, Ashley, because they are the most hyper, non-listening dogs you ever wanted to have. I have a customer that has one, and it's a big dog. I mean, they're big, and the dog just will not listen. I mean, it is just hyper, and it's friendly as can be, but it just wants to be with me every time I go in the house. And like right up beside me, and she's constantly calling like, no, come here, and the dog didn't even listen to her. And so I was standing there talking to her. The dog just comes right in front of both of us and jumps up and puts one paw on each shoulder, and then wraps its front legs around my neck. Like, it just gave me the biggest doodle hug ever. It was actually cool. No, Dreamer, because doodles are just, they got their own mind. No matter how well you train them, they got their own mind. They really are not. I don't know that they're even trainable. Come on. Damn, it's still knocking them out of there. Lots of static in these drills, y'all. Holy sh. Well, that would explain why the lid wasn't going on very well. They were actually stuck in the... Okay. Let's pull that out and dump those. Oh, the static is real, folks. What I thought was going to be a quick kit up may actually take the entire live to do. And I am fresh out of dryer sheets. I haven't had dryer sheets in here since right after Amber moved out, and that was, Lord, that was beginning of 2022. I just started using liquid fabric softener because it's so much easier. I just pour it in there when I start my laundry and forget it. Just throw the stuff in the dryer. I ain't got to worry about doing an extra step when I throw the stuff in the dryer. Hello, Chantel. I am good. You missed me retelling the story of the multiple wasp stings yesterday and the story of me getting my car back and how I'm going to the Smokies next weekend to go hiking. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm out of vape juice. So I'm working on this here, which is a tropical punch flavor. It's useless information, Chantel, really. It's really useless information. It's just, life experience type stuff. Get in there. Oh, I went to Tennessee last weekend, which is pretty cool. I didn't even talk about that yet. So yeah, I went to go visit my grandbabies. It's my granddaughter's 9th birthday. Went up there, saw her for her birthday, and hung out with everybody for a while, and that was a lot of fun. Didn't really do a whole lot special. Just kind of had her birthday party on Sunday. Saturday evening, I guess it was, my son pulled out the maybe it was Saturday evening, I guess. My son pulled out the Meta. My granddaughter got for her Christmas or her birthday last year, she got the Meta Quest 2, which is the VR goggles. And there's tons of games you can play on them. And he pulled those out, and I put them on, and there's a game called Climb, and it's basically rock climbing in virtual reality. And you have to move your hands up and grab the little handholds and everything. That's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. No matter how much once you put those goggles on, and I don't care how many times in a row you've played it and taken them off and put them back on, when you're on there, you literally feel like you are in another reality. It is so unreal. And here you are clinging to the side of this cliff. Now, in your brain, you kind of know that you're standing on the ground and nothing is going to hurt you. Even if you fall off in the game, yeah, you see you actually experience the fall and everything with the goggles on. But in the game, but there's points when you like there's certain checkpoints you have to reach, and there's like a little wooden platform there that you have to pull yourself up on, and you're standing on that wooden platform, and you want to look around, and so you stop and you turn again, but you are afraid to take a step to the side because you're afraid you're going to step off of it, even though you know you're standing on the ground in real life. Your brain takes over and says, nope, do not take a step farther to the right. You're going to fall off this platform. Chantel, I am kidding up what the thumbnail was. If you saw the thumbnail, is that painting there. It is Facebook does not like it. YouTube doesn't seem to care. Hello, Helen. Yeah, that game, it's a lot of fun, Dreamer. And it's really cool because it's so realistic, but it's still terrifying. Like there's points in time that my knees were weak standing there because I felt like I was about to fall. But now it's got me to where I want one of those. I want a set of those goggles in just that game. Just that game. Because that game is enough for cardio for hours. Like, because your heart rate gets so high. All right. I have found out that these Firefly trays are perfect for staticky drills. Because you can close that little lid, you can close that little flip shut thing off, and you can tap it and everything all you want, and put the lid on, and you're not going to lose any drills. They're not going to go flying everywhere. So that's nice. I can't give enough kudos to Firefly. I know there's other companies out there and they make good things, but Firefly is just, to me, the best. 327s. Yep. People get upset at me when I talk about mind over matter, grounding skills as a therapist, but then they go play a VR game. I'm telling you, if you believe, you can overcome. It's true. It is very true. The brain is a weird thing. Like, you can trick it into anything. And that's a problem, J. Rob. I think that is a big problem in society today. Is people are taught only believe what you can see, touch, hear, and feel. Otherwise, it's not to be believed. And people have no faith anymore in anything other than what they can see, touch, hear, and feel. In fact, a lot of people, and many times people are ridiculed for believing anything other than what they can see, touch, hear, and feel. And sometimes I feel like we've raised a society of people that are afraid to think for themselves. And because it goes against what everybody else thinks you should think. Yeah, that's so true. I was just watching just before I went live. It's a pretty good thought of that one. Just before I went live, um, I was watching this popular YouTuber for eating like hot peppers. The name of the channel is called Chase the Heat. His name is Johnny Scoville. Well, the video I just watched, I watched some of his like ones where he was like eating gross things and not just peppers. But he was in the Philippines and he was trying balut for the first time, which if anybody knows what that is, it's basically a half-formed duck in a duck egg. That's, ew. I wouldn't think that would be good. But he opened it up and he smelled it and you're like, oh, this smells horrible. But then he ate it. The first thing you do is you peel the very tip of the shell off and then you sprinkle a little salt on top and then you drink the juice that's inside. And he drank it and he was like, that is so odd. He said, it smells horrible. And your brain thinks, ew, this is only a half-formed duck egg. I shouldn't be doing this. It's gross. But he said the juice tastes just like chicken soup broth. He said it tastes just like chicken noodle soup broth. And then, of course, you peel it down farther and you eat the half-formed baby duck. And he sat there and chewed on it for a while and chewed on it. He says, it's so weird because people over here, this is what they eat normally. And they don't think anything of it. He said, but in America, we're quite stupid. We wouldn't eat these gross things because they're gross things. But he said, really, if you can get past the brain telling you that it's a gross thing, this didn't taste that bad. It was really good. I was surprised, and I thought, you know what? He's right. Oh, I've been spanking it all night long, J-Rob. Oh, I'm sorry, Helen. But you know, he was so right that there's things that you look at and go, this should be gross and I shouldn't be eating it. But then it turns out to taste good if you can get past the fact that your brain tells you that it's supposed to be gross, that you should find it gross. And it's opened my eyes up to trying different things that I never would have thought that I would try. I've eaten, I hate to say, I've eaten dog before. It's good. If I had known what it was when I ate it, I probably would not have. That sounded so dirty, Dave. Yeah, probably was. You're thinking the one with the dirty mind there. See, I was being completely wholesome and for once, I was actually being the non-dirty one there. Hey, Jennifer. But yeah, like I was over in Hong Kong, and I walked into a Chinese restaurant over there, and I had been on a Navy ship for, I don't know, at that point 2.5 months without anything but nasty Navy food, and I wanted real food. So I went in this Chinese restaurant, which, you know, to be fair, we were told before we got off the ship in a little private, you know, they have a closed circuit TV channel on the ship, and the captain had broadcasted, these are the do's and don'ts of Hong Kong thing. And it said if it has English writing, because at this point in time, Hong Kong was still under the British Commonwealth. So there was still a lot of British expats there and stuff. And it said if it has English writing on the sign, feel free to go in. You're welcome. But we would advise not going into places that don't have English writing on the sign. You may not be able to understand them. They may not be able to understand you, and you may not be welcome. Dave, being young and stupid, decides I'm going to go into this Chinese restaurant. And it looked good from the outside. So I went in. Of course, I didn't understand the menu. I didn't understand the waiter. Language barrier completely there. I walked, sat down, and I looked at the menu, couldn't read it, saw pictures. But I looked over at the guy next to me, had this big, beautiful steak on his plate, and I thought, man, that's what I want. I want this big, beautiful steak. I just pointed over there. The waiter gave me a thumbs up. He came back with my big, beautiful steak, and I ate my big, beautiful steak, and it was the most amazing thing I had eaten in a long time. Perfectly grilled, and just, it was amazing. And I got to thinking, I ain't seen no cows since I've been here. And I kind of looked at the waiter and I said, I pointed at the steak and I said, no cow. And he said, pointed at the steak, he said, dog. I said, oh. At that point, I'd already finished it. And I was like, well, it was good. You know what, Dreamer? Deer is good. I did that to a girlfriend one time. She'd actually told me not to do it to her. She knew I was a hunter and she knew that I liked deer. And she had told, don't ever try to feed me deer and tell me it wasn't, tell me that it's something else and then tell me later. And I actually did that. My mom made the best roast. Put it in the crock pot. And I invited her over for roast one night. And she sat there and ate it. Went back for seconds. Had some more. She just absolutely loved this roast. And she asked me, she said, man, this is good. She says, you know, how did you make it? My mom said, well, I put the deer meat in it. What's that? And she gave me this look like, really? You just did that to me? And I'm like, but you ate it and you went back for seconds, right? She goes, no, it was really good. She said, I think you've gotten me past my fear of deer meat. She just never had it. So she didn't, I mean, you couldn't have told it apart from a regular roast at all. And of course, knowing that it was the deer that I had gotten myself, it was even better. And from that point on, though, she was always asking me, when's your mom going to make another deer roast? I want to come over. Come on. Really? They're stuck in the spout. They're just clinging to the sides like, no, you can't make me go. It's still stuck to my finger. And believe it or not, Dreamer, that wildlife is probably much healthier for you than any of that pork, chicken, or beef that you buy at the store. Because that pork, chicken, and beef has been poked full of hormones and growth hormones and Lord knows what else to make it bigger. I mean, look, if you go to the store and buy chicken breasts, I just bought a pack of chicken breasts the other day, and I've seen turkeys with smaller breasts than these chicken breasts. Chickens just don't grow that big naturally. So I think all of that wildlife is actually healthier for you than any store-bought meat. It's cleaner. It's not as, you know, it's eating natural foods right out of the woods. Yeah, but even the stuff in the butcher, Helen, is still raised on a farm somewhere where they, you know, they make them artificially fatter, artificially, because, you know, the best steaks are the ones that are marbled, you know, and a lot of cows don't have that much natural fat in them like that. They pump them full of all kinds of stuff, vaccines and everything else. Now, that's not saying I don't eat meat from, you know, that's bought and purchased, but if I had a choice, if somebody handed me a deer steak and a beef steak, I would take the deer steak any day. Same thing with a wild turkey versus a store-bought turkey. Yep. Amazing. Oh, poachers are bad. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't poach deer either. fully against somebody illegally hunting. That's should be common knowledge. But deer meat, if cooked properly, is just as good, if not better, than the best beef you can buy in the store. But it has to be cooked right. Like deer meat can get really gamey tasting really quick. It has to be cooked right, prepared right. Like a big buck, a big old buck is not going to taste as good as a yearling. I mean, it's just not. It's the same reason between beef and veal. I mean, veal is just beef, but it's from a younger cow. It hasn't had time to grow that tough muscle and that, carry all that weight around. So it's tender and more juicy than that big old Black Angus bull that it's finally gotten to the point where, okay, we're ready to take him to slaughterhouse. All right, good night, Ashley. What's wrong with hunters, though? I mean, what's wrong with the hunter? If it wasn't for hunters, all the wildlife out there would probably be overpopulated, disease-ridden. We do our part to keep the numbers down while ethically killing animals. And any hunter that kills just for the sport is in it for the wrong reasons. I personally won't kill more than what I'm going to eat myself. Now, some hunters do kill more than what their family is going to eat, but the leftover meat they donate to food kitchens, food pantries, that kind of thing, to where people that can't afford to buy food have to go to like a food pantry or whatever to get free food. Maryland, when I was hunting up there, has a program for that. It's called Farmers Feeding Families, or not farmers, but hunters, and it's hunters and farmers feeding families is what it is. But it's mostly hunters. The bag limits up there are so liberal because the deer population is almost so out of control, it's ridiculous. That you're capable of killing more deer than you and your family and your neighbor's family could eat in a lifetime in 1 year. So what happens is these hunters go out and they fill their bag limits, but they donate everything they're not going to use themselves to these food kitchens, to this hunters and farmers feeding families, and they repackage it and whatever, and then they hand it out with the food handouts. And I tell you, there's an awful lot of people that would go hungry if it wasn't for that. No, because you don't want to introduce natural predators into an area where they're not. That'll mess up the ecosystem. You don't want to introduce a species into an ecosystem where it's already not native to. Good example of that is Asian lady beetles. They're a natural predator in the bug world. Farmers discovered that I can buy a small box of a couple thousand of these Asian lady beetles, can release them into my fields, and these Asian lady beetles kill the pest bugs that eat the crops. Well, now the problem is these Asian lady beetles reproduce at a staggering rate, and now they have become an invasive species, and they've killed off not only the bad bugs, but they're killing off the good bugs that help us out too. And they're taking over. And every spring, especially down here, man, they are a pest like you wouldn't believe. People's houses are full of them, and you can't get rid of them. They'll just end up dying off on their own every fall or every spring. You know, that's like for a month or so in the spring, like usually around February and March here, they're just horrible. They come in through the windows. Every window has a crack in it. Believe it or not, every window has a hole that they can get in through. They come in through the windows, and then they all congregate at the sun side windows of the house, and they end up dying there, and their houses would be full of these Asian lady beetles that would never be here if it hadn't been for farmers bringing them in to kill off the bugs that were eating their crops. Yeah, but if you're in an area that didn't have coyotes naturally, and you bring in coyotes, in some places there are no natural predators to those deer. In Maryland, there wasn't any natural predators to those deer. Humans were the natural predators for those deer. Lately in Maryland, there's been a problem. The coyotes have migrated in, or somebody has introduced them, and they're starting to become a problem. Because not only are they killing deer, but they're killing people's cats, they're killing people's livestock, they're killing people's other things. You can't eat meat in a package in the shop. Oh, wow. I never thought about that. See, I'm just so used to going to the grocery store and buying my meat that now when I was in North Dakota, I had a block away from the house was a butcher shop, and I used to go there a lot and get my meat from there. And there is a difference, no doubt, but you know, I don't really have a lot of that around here. I've just got to go to the grocery store and buy my meat now. So. Excuse me, Hank. My brother bought a Cocker Spaniel from me. He trained it for hunting. It pinned a wild turkey bigger than him. Well, that's cool. I mean, it's cool to train your dog to hunt. I mean, that's what a lot of people do. In Maryland, they actually have a season set aside just for running deer with dogs. It's usually part of firearms season. They'll put the dogs in one side of the woods and let them run through, and they'll run all the deer out into the field, and then everybody just sits around the field and opens fire. And sounds kind of bad, but oh yeah, Cocker Spaniels Beagles were originally bred for hunting. Labrador Retrievers were actually originally bred for hunting. And if Ashley was here, she would probably be able to back me up in saying that Poodles were actually bred for hunting. In fact, Poodles make some of the best retriever dogs for duck hunters, duck and goose hunters. Yeah, this is a pretty red. It's $4.98. 550. Oh, that's pretty purple too. Hank, you are just in the way, buddy. You know that, right? It's funny. Ashley shared a picture the other day in our little chat group we have with a few of us, and it was a picture of her cat right up on her side, and she says he has no idea what personal space is. And I was like, cats in general have no idea what personal space is. Only the Shih Tzu? I'm sure there's probably plenty of others, like Pomeranians. I mean, think about it, a Pomeranian. What else is a Pomeranian good for? A duster, yeah. I mean, they're really nothing more than super fuzzy chihuahuas. I mean, and I did not know, and I think it's odd because I was kind of reading some of the policies that our apartment complex has on pets. One, it says that you're not allowed to have a puppy or a cat, a dog or a cat less than a year old in the apartment. Um, they consider anything less than a year old a puppy or a kitten, and you're not allowed to have puppies and kittens here. So every domestic animal you get has to be, a year old. But there's a whole list of dangerous breeds you're not allowed to have. And some of them are like ones you would expect: cane corsos, pit bulls, um, uh, Rottweilers, Dobermans, German Shepherds, even. You're not allowed to have those here in these apartments. But one of the ones that's on the list that really struck me as strange was Siberian Husky. You're not allowed to have Siberian Huskies here in the apartments because they consider them a dangerous breed. Yes, Helen Hank is. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. What? No. Yeah, it is a dumb rule about the kittens and puppies. So that to me, I didn't understand, but I kind of do, because if anything's going to ruin a carpet faster than anything, it's a kitten or a puppy, especially a puppy that hasn't been house trained yet, or a kitten that hasn't quite figured out the use of a litter box yet. Well, that's the thing; it's aggressive. Dobermans are, and they can be vicious if they're aggressive. They're very Dobermans are very protective of their family, very protective, and that's typically across the board the way they are. And so I can understand why those are considered a dangerous breed, because they can be dangerous. If you're a Doberman owner and somebody walks up to your doorstep the wrong way or walks past your apartment the wrong way, and that dog decides that doesn't like the way that person is nearby you, he'll run out that door and attack. That's just the way Dobermans are. Just about everyone that I've ever known has been that way. And they don't have to be trained to be that way. They're just that naturally protective. But Siberian Huskies, I've never known of a Siberian Husky that's been aggressive. All dogs can be great, Dreamer. I mean, there's nothing like, personally, I would not own a pit bull, especially if you have children or cats. That's just me, because I've seen what can happen. Even a well-bred and well-trained pit bull does have that little mental thing there that could cause them to snap. Maybe never will, but it could. And when they do, they can be especially heinous. And that's why I personally would never own one if I had cats or kids. That's just me. And especially in a very populated thing like an apartment building, that's probably not a good idea, because the wrong person could walk by and make the wrong noise or whatever and snap. It just happens. And it's the nature of the dog that pit bulls don't just stop when you tell them to. Once they're in that mode, they're in that mode. There's no calling them off. And that's why they consider them dangerous animals. Well, yeah. I give you a great idea, Dreamer. There was I guess they were like cousins. They were my great uncle's cousins. They had a Doberman. His name was Sarge. Sarge was not a bad dog. He wasn't vicious. If he didn't know you, you might get a growl out of him when you came around the first time, maybe even the second time. But he was not going to hurt you unless you did something threatening to one of the members of that household. I used to be babysat over there all the time, and I was scared of him the very first time. For the longest time, I was scared to death of Sarge. But they ended up having to babysit me once for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I was there every day during the summer. And I got to know Sarge, and he was one of the coolest dogs ever. However, if you were sitting there on the couch and all you had to do was put your hand on one of the family members' shoulders, and if they said, "Ow, Sarge," Sarge would get in your face, growling, showing teeth, drooling. You better move your hand, because he was about to rip your face off. Now, imagine having a dog like that views you touching one of their family as a threat. And say, I don't know, you're out walking him here in the neighborhood one day, and you happen to know your neighbor that lives near the dog walking area. And as you're walking back, your neighbor's out on the front porch, and he walks up to you and he pats you on the back or reaches out to shake your hand. And that dog takes that as a threatening move and just snaps on you. That's what they're talking about. Yeah, difference between aggressive and vicious, but do you really want a neighborhood full of aggressive dogs in a populated apartment complex? I wouldn't. What happens when the dog is in the house and you're at work and the maintenance man needs to come in and check something because the neighbors upstairs had a problem with their toilet and he needed to come into your apartment to see if any damage was done. He walks in that door and that aggressive dog attacks him. Or he just knows you have that dog and he does not come in your apartment and he's not able to check on that, and you come home and now your bathroom ceiling is in your bathroom floor. You know, that's, I can understand their way of looking at it. I really can. I mean, I've always, I look past the, well, I had a dog that was like this and it didn't do this, but one, not everybody raises their dog the same way. And two, not every dog is the same. Even the same breed, not every dog is the same. Does Hank need a belly rub? Does he? Does he? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. You spoiled ass. Are you a little spoiled ass? Hmm? Oh. Oh, goodness. Really? Really? Hmm? Really? Hi. Your breath stinks. Really? Do you still got fleas? This damn flea is crawling in the cracks and crevices of the flea collar. Really? I don't get it. You spoiled ass. I'm telling you, he's a mess. Yeah, I guess it is a bad flea collar. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Dreamer. We had that dog here, Bella, and she was too big for an apartment. And she wasn't that big of a dog. She was, I don't even know how to, she wasn't that big. Um, she was just too big for an apartment. Apartment dogs are like Chihuahuas and Shih Tzus and Bichons, stuff like that. Those are apartment dogs. And I do a lot of apartment complexes for my job. I've got like 4 different apartment complexes that I do pest control in, and you'd be surprised the number of people keeping pit bulls in their apartments. And then the dog is sitting there growling, barking, snarling, teeth showing, drooling, the whole works. And they're like, "Oh, he won't hurt you. He's all right." Hell no, I'm not walking up in your apartment with that dog like that. No. He does. He does, Helen. Yeah, I ain't walking up in somebody's apartment with a dog that's growling and snarling and drooling and teeth showing and barking at. No. You go put that dog, lock him in the room or something till I'm done. Don't sit there and tell me, oh, he won't hurt you. I ain't taking the chance. I don't want to find out. He can't hurt me if you got him in the bed, locked in the bedroom. Bearded collie. There's a guy here in the apartments that has one of them. I don't care if he's giving me a warning or not. I'm not gonna see how far he takes that warning. No. Plus, on top of that, my company policy is if I get bit by a dog, I get fired because I'm not supposed to be going into a house if the dogs aren't put up. That's company policy. It don't matter if it's a Chihuahua or if it's a Great Dane. I'm not supposed to go into a building or into the backyard or even into the yard of a house. If I pull up in the yard and there's dogs running loose in the yard, I'm not allowed to get out of my truck by company policy. If I get bit by a dog, that's my fault. I get fired automatically. No questions asked. That's one thing that they take serious at our company. But just on top of that is I don't mess with dogs. I mean, little bitty ones, I don't mind. And some of my customers have like some old hound dogs or, really, really docile animals. I mean, if it runs up and all it wants to do is sniff me, then chances are it's not going to do anything. But if the second I get out of that truck or step foot out of that truck, that dog starts growling, I'm back in the truck. And then I'm calling the customer from the front yard saying, hey, I need you to come get your dog. I'm not allowed to get out this truck until you got him. But I mean, a lot of my customers, I know their pets now and I know their dogs. And there's some that they know their dog very well. And they're like, let me go put the dogs up because I know what they'll do and I know how they are. But most of them are like, I mean, I'll go in the house. I'll play with the dogs while I'm there. And they said that one neighbor's doodle just gave me a big hug, literally. Stood up on its hind legs, put its front paws over my shoulders, wrapped its front legs around my neck, and gave me a hug. You know what? Doodle hugs are the best. They really are. I know they're a hyper dog and they don't listen and they're weird, but they really are sweet dogs. They mean well. Oh, 554. I was supposed to actually start this painting on August 1st, and I've had it out since then. I meant to film a kit up, like a WIP and Chat kit up, and I just haven't had the chance to do it. So I'm just now, and that's why I'm doing it for my life. It gives me an excuse to do it. No, they're not purebred. They're usually a mix between a lab and a poodle. Well, you can get all kinds of doodles. You can get labradoodles and whatever. It's just something mixed with a poodle. What I really want, if I'm going to have another dog, what I really want is a basset hound. Like the one from Smokey and the Bandit or Dukes of Hazzard. Just a big lazy basset hound. Just lays there. Yeah, Dreamer, they're mutts, but they cost a lot of money if you get one. And now they are considered their own breed. If you breed two doodles together, Now they're considered a purebred doodle. And they cost a lot of money. Oh yeah, collies are great dogs. They're very loyal, very docile, and they're smart as hell. I mean, there's a reason why Lassie was a collie. I'm not sure about that, Linda. I'm not 100% sure that the AKC does not recognize the doodle now as its own breed. I don't know that for a fact. I don't watch dog shows and I don't run in those circles, but I'm not 100% sure that they don't recognize the doodle as its own breed now. I mean, that's pretty much how every dog breed became a breed, is by, I mean, all the dogs you know of that we know of today all descended from the wolf. And how many of them actually look like wolves anymore? And it's just because of different breeding from different types of dogs throughout the ages. But now we have so many different recognized breeds that it doesn't. Well, a pit bull, I know most people that I know of, they call the different breeds. There's what, the Staffordshire Terrier, the Staffordshire Terrier, and several other different bull terriers that fall under the classification of pit bull. By what pit bull is actually a layman's term for one of the several different breeds of bulldogs that were originally bred for fighting purposes back when dog fighting was legal and not frowned upon. And that's where the word pit comes from, is they were in the fighting pit. They were bred for the fighting pit. Now, I don't know if there's an actual true dog that's called a pit bull, but I know that a lot of people that have pit bulls today, they have like Staffordshire Terriers. God, I hate this. Ugh, I need to get some dryer sheets, y'all. $7.22. all by its lonesome. One little packet. Oh, there's one trapped in there in the little on the side, but it's still full and it's still perfectly good. It's just trapped there. I must release it. I must free it from its bonds. Come on out of there. There you go. What's the weather like here? Heat indexes in the 110s, regular temperature in the upper 90s, bright, sunny, afternoon thunderstorms every afternoon. You know, typical Alabama summer, only hotter. This summer has been ridiculously hot here, like ridiculously hot. Even people that have lived here all their lives are saying, this is hot. Every day we have excessive heat warnings. Every afternoon we have severe thunderstorm watches. And all the thunderstorm does is makes it more humid the next day. Oh, I've been in this Sonoran desert. I know what you're talking about. Oh, sorry, Hank. Well, you're welcome to have every afternoon shower we get here, Audie, because we're honestly tired of it. That's why I'm looking forward to this weekend in the Smokies. It's going to be in the mid 60s for highs, and it's going to be sunny. Oh, I can't wait. It's perfect hiking weather. Mid 60s during the day, 50s at night. Perfect hiking and sleeping weather. I ain't going to want to come home. I can tell you that now. I am not going to want to come home. Yes, my drills are alive. And it ain't with the sound of music. Really? Really? They're sticking inside the... Ugh. How annoying. Isn't that so cool how that color changes? Helen, I do. I seriously do. I'm just out of dryer sheets because I stopped buying them because I was using liquid fabric softener. So I don't have any dryer sheets in the house anywhere. And I didn't even stop and think about needing them to kit up paintings. So but this is really annoying. I feel like one of those people who just started diamond painting and is dealing with static for the first time and doesn't know what to do about it because I'm kind of helpless to do anything about it at the moment. And it's too late for me to go banging on the neighbors' doors asking them if they have a dryer sheet this time at night. Oh, it's these. Yay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the Harbor Freight container in the tray so that any that fall out will fall into the tray. And then I can just empty those into well, now we know the most used color in this kit. Yeah, maybe tomorrow or when I get paid Wednesday. Oh, yeah, because these are like all static. Oh, nice. I've got flying drills. They're jumping drills and they're sticking to my fingers. Well, don't put your head in my empty packet pile. Yeah. No, really? Yes, skin tones. Lots of skin tones in this painting. Getting those last few drills out is like trying to get the last bit of toothpaste out of a tube. You might not want to get your face down there too close. It'll stick to your fur. You really want that? All right, Jennifer. Yes, Helen, he's being nosy. He's being Hank. Aren't you, buddy? You just being Hank. You're just being a Hank. That's all you're doing. You're just being a Hank. Oh, and this color's just got to be the most super staticky ones of the bunch. I mean, they're sticking to my fingers. Look at this. Look at this. Yes, I do, Helen. They are very spoiled, rotten cats. Where is Arya? Oh, no. She's probably in the bedroom. The bedroom is her domain. She's got Hank scared to go in there. He will not go in that bedroom. He'll lay at the bedroom door. But that's as far as he goes. If I take him in there, as soon as I set him down on the bed, he jumps right off and right back out, and then he'll lay at the bedroom door. He knows that the bedroom is Arya's place. She has done chased him out of there. They ain't lying when they say cats are territorial. Even within the house, they are territorial. Ain't that right, Hank? I don't know why you're such a scaredy cat over little old Arya. She ain't but a little midget. A little midget kitty. You can take her. Same thing happens when I feed them. If he even looks at her the wrong way while they're eating, she will turn and hiss at him, and he'll back right off and he'll leave. He won't even eat his own food. He is scared to death of Arya. Yeah, even if it's bedtime. What happens at bedtime is I got to go in the bathroom, put my teeth in the cup and everything before I go to bed. And as soon as I get up to head to the bathroom, as soon as I go in there, Arya comes running in there meowing, jumps up on the counter in the bathroom while I'm doing all what I got to do at night before I go to bed. And she is like right in my face, meow, meow, meow. And she stands on her hind legs and puts her front paws up on my chest and does the little, kneading thing while she's on her hind legs. And then I shut off the light in the bathroom and I go across the hall into bed, and she jumps in the bed before I can even get to it. And then the whole time I'm laying down trying to go to sleep, she's pacing back and forth and meowing at me and constantly like making biscuits on me and climbing, walking over me and pacing back and forth along the edge of the bed beside me until I fall asleep. And then I don't know what she does afterwards. But Hank will just go and lay at the... Now, okay, Hank will lay at the bedroom door, but most mornings when I wake up, he's usually right in front of me and laying in the bed. So I don't know what happens during the night. Whether he sneaks in there while she's asleep or what. Hank. Hank. Hank, 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 Hank. They say that you can de-static your drills by freezing them. So before I go to bed tonight, I might just stick this Harbor Freight box in the freezer. Man, even with this portable unit in here, it is hot. There, turned it down a little bit. Man, I'm going to have little flesh-colored drills everywhere. What's really odd, though, is one packet won't be all of that staticky, and then the very next one will be. It's like it changes from one packet to the next. Yeah, that's probably what happened, Helen. He just, I don't know. It's like he waits till it's the middle of the night and then he comes in and I wake up with him next to me. So I'm not exactly sure what goes on there, but I just know typically he will not go into the bedroom. Normally when I come home in the afternoons, Hank is in the window here that's right behind the TV, and Arya is in the bedroom window in the bedroom, which both face out the front of the house. So I just take it as that just being her domain, and she don't want him there. And whenever she's not around and I go to feed them or whatever, and I holler for her, she's the one that comes running out of the bedroom. It's where she's usually under the bed hiding or sleeping, or whatever it is she does under there. I have a customer that I go to. It's so cute. I went in the house and she goes, "Yeah, don't mind that lump in the middle of my bed." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Don't mind that lump in the middle of my bed. It's just my cat." And I'm expecting like to just see a cat sleeping in the middle of the bed. No, the bed is perfectly made. And right in the middle of it, underneath the top blanket, is a lump. The cat doesn't like strange people. And when a strange person comes over, the cat climbs up underneath of there and just curls up in a little ball and lays there under the covers as if you'd never know it was there. But the odd part is the cat doesn't mess the bed up. So there's no wrinkles anywhere else on the cover. The cover is not flipped up or anything. She finds a way to jump in from the floor underneath the cover and just get up underneath the very middle of the bed, underneath that top cover, and just curl up into a little ball and act like she's not there. It's the funniest thing. She said, "Yeah, she thinks that you can't see her, so, she hides under the cover." Cats are smart, but they ain't the brightest, They figure if you can't see them, they can't see you. That's why it's really funny when cats are playing and like when Hank wants to go like pounce on Arya when they're playing, he'll get down behind like the smallest little skinny box he can find, and he'll get down there. I mean, he sticks out around the sides of it, and his ears stick up above it, and he's looking from up above it. But I guess he figures that if he's behind it, that she can't see him. So in the meantime, she just walks over there and starts sniffing him, like, "Yeah, I see you." Oh, this is a mess. Come on. This is horrible. I forgot this thing only holds, these Harbor Freights only hold about 15 of these. little packets. So I'm getting close to the capacity of this one. Excuse me, Hank. Oh, good night, Helen. Will there be enough room? Probably not, Jennifer. Be close to it. Hey, Diamond Queen. Oh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I think this whole Harbor Freight box is going in the freezer when I get done. Oh, that's a different color. Diamond Queen, we are kitting up the picture that was on the thumbnail. This one. If the building across the street has a fire alarm going off, and it's been going off for 45 minutes and there's still no smoke coming out the windows, I would say chances are probably not don't need to, because if it is a business and the fire alarm is going off, chances are the fire department already knows, or at least the owner already knows. Excuse me, Hank. You're going to get bopped in the nose by accident, but it's going to happen. Oh. I swear I've never had a kit up take this long. I kitted up that 100 color one faster than this. Excuse me, Hank. Well, he's just not giving me room, and I'm trying to like basically squeegee them out of the thing like this with my fingers. And when my fingers get down to the bottom and they slip off, my hand goes back and pops him in the nose. There. Now that I can pick that whole packet up off the desk, since all of them ended up outside of the Harbor Freight container. And now they don't want to come off my fingers. I just saw an article today about, or actually it was a video, the new Grand Theft Auto 6, when it comes out, is going to have an M rating for mature. And in order to make sure that it's only adults playing, Rockstar Games is actually putting a facial recognition software into the game that you have to upload a selfie, and it's going to do basically a facial recognition thing to determine your age based off of the selfie you uploaded before it will unlock the game for the first use. So I guess my question is, like, what happens if the person that buy the game is like that little dude, Hezbollah? The dude looks like he's like 5 years old, but he's a grown ass man. So to say he buys Grand Theft Auto 6, he wouldn't be able to unlock it because he looks too young to be able to play the game. Yeah, the fire department does have a. Actually, the fire department doesn't have the key, but most businesses have a lockbox on the front of the building somewhere that the fire department have the code for, and it's they can open it up and get the key out. I know in the town I lived in, our fire department was actually going around installing them, and to all the different buildings for free. So that way, if there was a fire at night in the building, we could get in and wouldn't have to bust down windows and everything else. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Jennifer, then. Yeah, you've seen him. He's like, he's a little person, and he looks, face-wise, he looks like he's like 5 years old or 6 years old. But then he's got a whole bunch, he's got his own like YouTube channel or TikTok, whatever, I don't know. And it's him doing all kinds of grown-up things, and he's got an entourage and a posse. He's like 35 or 40 years old, and he looks like he's like 5. The non-emergency number. Man, I have got little flesh-colored drills everywhere. They're like in my lap and in my chair. Ugh. Hi, Hank. Hi, buddy. Yes, it's like crafting herpes. Maybe. I'm thinking about it. I truly am. I need to iron this canvas too. It's got some. It has double-sided adhesive. It had the regular opaque paper on it, and I pulled that off and I put parchment paper on it when I first got it. But it's got some bubbles and wrinkles and stuff in the canvas that I need to iron down. But I'm still working on that beginner's course for diamond painting that I was talking about, and I kind of want to do that for the video. To show how to deal with a wrinkled double-sided adhesive canvas. And ironing is not hard to do at all with the double-sided adhesive. Everybody thinks it's, oh, I don't want to iron it. Nope, flip that thing over upside down. Leave the opaque paper on it. First, what I do is I peel the opaque paper back and I slice the glue or slice the adhesive on all of those wrinkles, because every one of those wrinkles is going to have a bubble. So you just kind of drag the knife across it. Don't put any pressure on it. Just let the weight of the knife do it. And you drag that along that bubble to score that bubble. And then you flatten that paper out as flat as you can get it. Like use a ruler to, push it down really good. Flip that canvas over, put your iron on the wool setting, let it heat up, no steam, and you don't need a towel under the canvas. Do it on a flat, hard surface, and even an ironing board will work. Do it on a flat, hard surface, no towel underneath or anything like that, and put your iron directly on the canvas. Keep it moving. Don't ever let it sit still in one spot, but just kind of keep moving over the whole canvas constantly, and do that for like 5 minutes, and that'll heat that adhesive up enough to soften it. And at the same time, the iron running over it causes it to flatten back down to the canvas underneath of that opaque paper. And then you just let it cool as needed. Take the iron off and set it off to the side and let it cool off, but just let that cool laying there just like it is. And once your canvas is cool, then you can flip it over and work with it. And you've got no more bubbles, no more wrinkles. So quick and simple. I've done it hundreds of times, never ruined the canvas yet. And I've brought back some other canvases that I thought I was going to have to throw away because they were so badly messed up from transit from China that anybody else probably would have thrown away and asked for a refund on when they got them. And I'm like, no, I can save that. Hello, Terry. You made it just in time to see the end. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to stick it in the freezer as is because this static in this is ridiculous. Hi, Hank. Okay. All right. That's all going to go in the freezer. See? It's going to go in the freezer, Hank. Why are you looking at me like that? Probably because it's still, even though they gave me a portable AC because of my AC being broke, it's not keeping it as cool throughout the house in here as it normally does. And it's keeping my living room at, like 75. But, that's still a little warm. I like it a little cooler than that in the house. So I'm sitting here doing like a little bit of sweating. So I can understand if I'm a bit salty to Hank. Yeah. Am I a bit salty? Yeah. I'll be glad when they get my AC fixed. Oh, the blower motor took a dump on me. I noticed it Thursday night. It was making a weird noise, and I didn't think much of it. And then it cleared up, and it was working again fine. And when I left here Friday morning, it was still working fine. When I got home Friday afternoon, it was 85 degrees in my house, and the AC wasn't on. It was set to 72. Yeah, something's wrong. And then Friday night, when I couldn't get a hold of dude to come over and fix it, I kind of took the side off of the air handling unit because it's in a closet here in the room. And I took the side off of it and I reached in there and it's got a safety kill switch on the cover. So when you pull the cover off, it won't automatically kick on for you or anything. And I stuck my hand in there and I spun the fan around on my own. And it was a little hard to turn, but not bad. But then I got it spinning and it was easier to spin. And then I kind of put the cover back on and next thing you know, the fan kicked on and it was running just fine. And I was like, oh, cool. So I put the cover back on, left it alone. And like 5 minutes later, it started making this really weird noise and it started squealing and then it shut off again. And then every time it tried to kick back on, all it would do is hum. So he came and looked at it yesterday and he was like, yeah, your blower motor is shot. And he took the whole blower unit out of there and took it with him. And he's going to bring it back fixed and just stick it back into the unit. Fire department on the way. Yay. We all know why you called the fire department, Diamond Queen. Quit trying to make it seem like something. You just want to see the firefighters. That's all it is. The funny part is, though, is everybody sees all them firefighters on the calendars and in the pictures and stuff, and they think that's what they're going to get. Most firefighters are like overweight, out of shape looking middle-aged dudes with a beer gut. Still picking up little drills. Ugh. Little staticky drills, Hank. I'll put them in the right packets later. Here they come. Yay. Oop. I love this tray. This is the Element. I love it. It's got the little multi-placer grid and the single placer grid. Sounds like it's raining. You just stick them in there. You can pull out the other one too. And it's just got that. So you can turn it into whatever kind of tray you want to turn it into. If you want the regular tray, or you want the multi-placer tray. Yeah, and for the price, these are not bad at all for that price. I mean, I wouldn't say they're practically giving them away, but like I said in my video when I unboxed this one, is they could easily charge a lot more than what they are for these trays. And they would still sell just as good as they are now. But that's what I like about Firefly, is they don't overcharge on their stuff. I mean, yeah, the Switch Traveler is expensive, but that's like 15 trays in one. I mean, it folds open to 2 different trays, but inside each one of those 2 different trays, there's 2 smaller ones. And inside each one of those 2 smaller ones, there's like 4 or 2 even smaller ones. It's just ridiculous. It's like a Chinese nesting doll of trays, or Russian nesting doll of trays. It's like really cool. Yes, Firefly DA. Yes, Tray Shop. And like I said, don't get me wrong. All of the 3D printers out there have their own trays, and they're all very good products, I'm sure. I don't have any of NYX's trays yet, and I don't have any of Bella Arde Nicole trays. But I'm sure, you know, as far as 3D printed trays go, they're probably just as good a trays as anything else. It's just I prefer the Firefly now. I think they've really innovated to the point with the little, you know, switch, little flip open, slide open thing, and now they have the one that flips open. It's just their innovation is awesome. Is the place occupied this time at night, Diamond Queen? If it's not occupied this time at night, then nobody would come out. But if it is occupied, they may be working on the system inside, and they know it's going off, and it's just nothing they can do about it. I know one job I worked at, they'd let us know ahead of time, hey, the fire alarm's going to be going off. We're working on the unit, on the system, and whatever, or it's going off and the people in there know about it. Maybe there's a malfunction and they know that there's a malfunction and they're trying to get the alarm people to come and work on it tonight. I don't know. Chances are if there's people inside and it's going off like that, then they know that there's a problem with it, and that's why they're not evacuating. Because I would tend to think that if there was an actual fire, everybody in the building would know about that by now. Well, if they didn't know it by now, they do. All right, y'all. It's after 11. Hank is sitting here waiting patiently because I know what he wants. So tell him all night-night, Hank. Say night-night, everybody. Yay. Daddy's getting me good food. Yeah, you heard that. Yeah, I know. You heard those words. That's his favorite words when I say good food. That head snaps right around and looks at me. And then he sits up here like, okay, you said it. Let's go get it. All right, y'all. I may or may not see you next weekend. Depends on what time I get home from my hike and how I feel when I get home from my hike. But I'm going to do what I can to try to get here in time, but I just don't know yet. So until I see y'all again, rock on, y'all. Roll Tide. I will. I'll be safe. Always safe. Because I'm just turning 50 and I want to live another 50. So, yeah. I'll see y'all later.